Now, the Queen has led tributes to the hugely popular author Dame Jilly Cooper, who's died at the age of 88 after a fall at her home. Queen Camilla described her as a legend and a wonderfully witty and compassionate friend to me and so many. Her books were racy, often described as bonkbusters, and they sold in their millions, including the bestsellers Riders and its follow-up Rivals, which was turned into a hit TV series last year, attracting a new generation of fans. Colin Patterson looks back at her life.
1986.
Jilly Cooper's Rivals.
You can have whatever you want.
A huge multi-BAFTA nominated hit when it debuted on the streaming service Disney Plus last year. That familiar formula of the bedroom and the boardroom, sex, class and horses, themes which dominated her best-selling so-called bonkbusters.
The biblical heat.
And she even made a cameo.
You're a genius.
She'd grown up in the sort of world she wrote about, upper middle class, horsey, lots of boyfriends, up in Yorkshire. The Queen paid tribute, saying, "I was so saddened to learn of Dame Jilly's death last night. Very few writers get to be a legend in their own lifetime, but Jilly was one, creating a whole new genre of literature and making it her own through a career that spanned over 5 decades. I join my husband, the King, in sending our thoughts and sympathies to all her family, and may her hereafter be filled with impossibly handsome men and devoted dogs. Camilla R." Her big break came in 1968 when, newly married, she was invited to write a column for the Sunday Times. The column and the books it spawned were groundbreaking at the time.
Don't worry too much about housework. If you amuse a man in bed, he won't worry about the mountain of dust underneath. I wrote that. I mean, it's probably quite true, isn't it?
Oh, come on.
Now famous, she wrote a sitcom starring Joanna Lumley.
I think I've had a stroke.
About posh girls sharing a flat, the sort of life she'd lived herself in London. But it was fiction that made her fortune. She worked hard at it, often pretending to be shy and rather dippy. In reality, she was shrewd and tough, and needed to be. She and her husband Leo enjoyed a comfortable lifestyle, but when his publishing firm went bust, she became the main breadwinner for a time. She wrote 5 books in a single year. In the 1990s, he had a well-publicised affair. She was devastated. It spawned her most personal book, The Man Who Made Husbands Jealous. In 1999, she was lucky to escape alive from the Paddington rail crash. She climbed through a broken window and went to her scheduled meeting in London.
This is where all those scenes came from?
Yes, all those scenes came from.
When I went to visit her at home in Gloucestershire last year, it was clear how much she was enjoying the late career success of Rivals.
How are you finding revisiting it?
Well, it's very lots and lots and lots and lots of sex. And I mean, it's just very, very, very advanced, really.
Are you shocked by your own book?
Slightly surprised. Did I write that?
The best-selling author Dame Jilly Cooper, who's died at the age of 88.
Finally tonight, for decades, Dame Jilly Cooper has been the UK's guilty pleasure. Her raunchy novels have entertained millions of readers with their bawdy blend of sex, scandal and high society. But they contained far more than that. Behind the racy plots were insightful critiques of gender, marriage and prejudice and much more. Queen Camilla led the tributes to Dame Jilly today after her death was announced at the age of 88. Her friend, she said, became a legend in her own lifetime.
It is, of course, classic Dame Jilly Cooper.
Letty gasped urgently.
And how thrilled she was to get a cameo last year in the hit TV adaptation of her bestseller Rivals. She gave her millions of readers what they wanted. Her heroes were dashing and dastardly and called names like Rupert Campbell Black.
My husband is away on business.
Well, perhaps you'd like to have dinner tonight.
The sex lives and scandal of the upper-class country set were her speciality. And Dame Jilly, a former journalist, enjoyed creating her stories as much as her fans enjoyed reading them. Dubbed bonkbusters for their raunchy content, she summed up her creative process.
What I do is I get a subject like polo or show jumping. It's a bit of sort of cross between a romance and a Sunday Times piece, because you research the polo, or the latest one was about opera singers, and then you live with opera singers and you sort of study their sex lives and their working lives, and then you write a book about it.
The Queen was both a friend and a reader, and in an affectionate tribute today, she said, "Very few writers get to be a legend in their own lifetime, but Jilly was one. May her hereafter be filled with impossibly handsome men and devoted dogs." They were together at a literary event just weeks ago, alongside Helen Fielding, the writer of the Bridget Jones books, whose own career was inspired by Dame Jilly.
She was my heroine, really, for a long time. And I remember the first time I got a note through the post from her about my book, about Bridget, just saying she liked it. And I was so happy. Sometimes she was underestimated because her writing was really good. She created these characters who live on forever.
Jilly Cooper behaves in public the way her heroines behave in paperback.
From the beginning of her career, she became adept at defending the sex in her stories.
I think everybody thinks it's wrong, that. But I think it's a whole part of the sexual thing, that you do go out to attract people. But it seems to be suddenly considered wrong just because you're married and grown up.
Dame Jilly was a survivor, escaping from the Paddington rail crash in 1999, in which 31 people died, and years later suffering a stroke. Where once perhaps reading a Dame Jilly Cooper novel might have been a guilty secret, her sales of more than 11 million, the TV adaptations, a testament to a writer who was a master in her field, who wrote books you couldn't put down and clearly loved every minute of it. Dame Jilly Cooper was a literary one-off.
Remembering the author Dame Jilly Cooper, whose death was announced today at the age of 88. And a very thoughtful and kind woman she was. That's it. Good night, and thank you very much for watching.
With tributes paid to Jilly Cooper after her death at the age of 88. Tomorrow, fellow National Treasure Angela Rippon joins Susanna and Ed live in the studio to talk about her late friend and colleague and celebrate the legacy the beloved best-selling author leaves behind. From 6 on Good Morning Britain.